Okay, let's just get right into it because two of the absolute biggest names in football history just got knocked out of the World Cup. Both of them. At the exact same time. And guys, that has literally never, ever happened before. No Brazil, no Germany. Just gone. Before the quarterfinals even started.
So, who is actually left and why should you care about what happens next? Well, welcome to this explainer, where we're going to go team by team, because this Final Eight, it is stacked with stories that are honestly crazier than fiction. Here is how we're breaking it all down today. We've got the historic Final Eight, champions versus challengers, the ultimate underdogs, a look at who is playing best, and we'll wrap things up with the race for glory.
All right, Section 1, the historic Final Eight, setting the stage. Just to set the baseline here, think of the World Cup like a giant elimination bracket. It's kind of like March Madness, right? 64 teams start, and if you lose once, you are going home. By the time we hit the quarterfinals, only 8 teams remain out of that original starting lineup. So yeah, the stakes are absolutely massive. Let's start by talking about our return customers. Argentina, England, France, and Morocco. They were all in this exact same position 4 years ago too. It's the same Final 8, just -4 of the old teams and +4 new ones.
But here is the genuinely wild part. The two finalists from 4 years ago, Argentina and France, they are both still alive right now, but they're sitting on totally opposite sides of the bracket. That means they can't cross paths until the very last game. If that happens, we would get the exact same championship matchup 2 tournaments in a row. For some context, that has only happened once before in history, way back in the 1980s.
Moving right along to Section 2, champions versus challengers, the experience gap. Now, there is a massive divide here that I think most fans are completely overlooking. When you break it down, exactly half of these teams have won the World Cup before. You've got Argentina with 3, France with 2, and England and Spain with 1 each. But those other 4 teams, Belgium, Morocco, Switzerland, and Norway, they have 0 championships between them, like 0 combined. So we are staring down a very real scenario where a brand new champion could be crowned for the first time since Spain broke through back in 2010. And some of these droughts, they're just staggering. I mean, Switzerland hasn't made it this far since 1954. That is before television was even a common thing in most people's living rooms. And then you have Norway, reaching past the round of 16 today for the very first time ever. Which leads us perfectly into Section 3, the ultimate underdogs. Defying the odds. Think about the insane experience gap we're dealing with, especially for Norway's upcoming match against England. England has been to the quarterfinals 10 separate times. 10. And Norway, they've got exactly 1. The one they're on right now. Looking at a disparity like that, I really want you to keep this question in the back of your mind. Does experience actually matter in a one-game winner-go-home match? Seriously, think about that as we look at the rest of these matchups. Because Norway might seriously be the best story of the whole tournament. They're being led by Erling Haaland, a striker who is basically built like a tank, but somehow runs faster than most sprinters. Scouts literally describe him as impossible to stop one-on-one. Oh, and let's not forget, this is the exact same team that just sent Brazil packing to get here. And we absolutely cannot ignore Morocco here. 4 years ago, they made history as the first African nation ever to reach a World Cup semifinal. Today, they are the first African team to reach the quarterfinals in back-to-back tournaments. You guys, that isn't just luck. That is a real program being built right before our eyes. All right, Section 4. Who is playing best? The data story. Zooming out to look at the regions, this is actually the most Europe-heavy Final 8 we've seen since 2018. But here's the crucial takeaway. 6 of these 8 teams won their group stage outright early on. So the teams that looked the absolute strongest early are, for the most part, still here. The huge upsets, they happened somewhere else. When we dig into the performance data, France is the only team left coasting on pure, clean wins without needing any extra time. Actually, let me clarify that. In football, extra time means an extra 30 minutes added when a match ends tied. France hasn't needed that lifeline once. Argentina has 5 wins too, sure, but they barely survived a really grueling match in extra time against Cabo Verde. And Norway, they actually proved that even an amazing Cinderella story can hit a speed bump, since they hold the only loss among all the remaining teams, which happened against France. Now, get ready because this stat might genuinely blow your mind. Spain has not conceded a single goal in 5 matches. 0.
Nothing has gotten past their defense. Think about it. It is like a goalkeeper playing 5 straight games without letting a single person score. That is practically unheard of at this level of play.
But on the total flip side of that, you've got the offensive firepower. France and Argentina are leading the pack with 14 goals each. Spain, meanwhile, is all the way down at the bottom of the active list with just 9 goals, which basically proves that their whole run is relying almost entirely on those defensive miracles we just talked about. And finally, Section 5, the race for glory, individual superstardom. The race for the Golden Boot, the award for the tournament's top scorer, is just fiercely tight right now. Messi is leading the charge with 8 goals, but Mbappe and Haaland are breathing right down his neck with 7 each. These final matches aren't just deciding the team champion, they are deciding if legendary veterans cement their legacy, or if a newcomer steals the spotlight as the defining player of the tournament.
Which brings us right back to our big question. With legendary nations gone and rookies stepping up, will the old guard hold on to their dominance? Or is history actively being rewritten by new blood right in front of us? I mean, this isn't just a tournament anymore. This is history in real time. Thanks so much for tuning into this explainer, and definitely keep your eyes on these upcoming matches.